TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello.
Well, this week we'll talk about strange turn of events where the head of the Mossad got involved with the nuclear deal talks between the U.S. and Iran, which has never happened before. And a new problem now, well, not really so new, but it's getting worse, where Arabs are attacking Jews in the old city of Jerusalem. But first, let's say thank you. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. It's because of you. You are the people who are, with your support, feeding these precious people here in the state of Israel. And it is an amazing and blessing, such a blessing for you, for us and for them and for you guys, I hope, to be able to do such a great work here. And it's all because of you, 100%. So we thank you, and you deserve being thanked and being blessed. Like we always say, underneath all the videos we do, if you feel like you want to be a part of this, there's links to Patreon and to our website support page, or you can just go to thegoldenreport.com and you can find a support us page there and go from there and figure out whichever way works for you best. Another piece of news is I think Ola is reworking a new website for us.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll have I don't know how soon, but she's working on it.
Yeah.
So we'll have a new website and it'll look updated and new. Well, let's get started. Just like I was talking about, in an unusual turn of events, the head of Mossad got involved in the political talks with the U.S. about the Iranian nuclear deal. He told them flat out that with this deal, Iran will have nuclear weapons within a year and a half at max. There's nothing to talk. There's nothing to debate about it. It's just it will happen.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Yep. So
what this deal is doing is getting them armed with nuclear weapons. Period. That's all this nuclear deal is doing. Is giving them nuclear power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Thursday night, the Israeli Air Force made yet another airstrike on Iranian weapons delivered to Hezbollah. The Russians stayed out of this airstrike as well, like the last time.
Yeah, it's a new variable in Israelis' airstrikes now in Syria, and is the Russian threat, because they made that summit and made those agreements with Iran and Turkey, right? So I think it's just a matter of time until we see that start escalating, where the Russians are getting involved. Right now, I don't think they want to open up a new front for battle and for war when they're having a hard enough time just trying to take care of the Ukraine. Right?
Yeah.
Which is a whole insane thing going on, still going on over there.
Yeah.
Well, former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a public statement saying how dangerous it is that our current government has been not doing near enough to get involved with the nuclear deal talks with Iran. Israel should be a large part of these world-changing dealings. He's right. You know, back when he was prime minister, he was always involved with these talks. He never was invited, but he invited himself.
Yeah.
Because it's just something you don't just sit on the sidelines and watch happen.
We're the first country who will be threatened by
Absolutely.
this.
It's first us, and then guess what? The United States, and then the rest of the world.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it's going to be, and it will be that way, period. Well, young Arabs are walking around the Jewish quarters of the old city of Jerusalem and are attacking Jews that are just walking down the streets in the middle of the day. This is getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, it's on the news. You see it where, just a young guy walking down the street and then 5 young Arabs jump on him and, until someone comes to break it apart. I'm sure if they don't, they just keep beating him until he's dead, right?
It's nothing new here, but it's escalating and getting worse each and every day, week, year.
Yep. Absolutely.
A 6-year-old girl was shot when an Arab fired in the air at a wedding in a neighborhood near Jerusalem. She was sent to the hospital, and fortunately she was not killed, but she was shot.
But she was still shot from a
6
wedding.
Years old. That's what they do on the weddings.
Yeah, they
have
shoot.
This strange tradition to shoot in the air.
Yeah.
To celebrate wedding. Very peaceful.
I don't see how guns and weddings mix, but they do. They see how it mixes. They just shoot guns in the air, right? For the past few months, the teachers in Israel have been saying that they will strike and stop the school year from starting back up. This has been going on for a while now. They are striking for more money and to take more time off. They have a pretty good vacation as far as I know, but you know,
yeah.
well, I tell you what, I'm always for the teachers. The teachers are people who are educating and shaping our children and
Our future.
in our future. Yeah, this is something we should always be involved with. But they sort of lost me in Corona, the teachers in this country, where they almost the whole night in 2020, the whole year they barely worked. And when the government said, let's, instead of having summer vacation, let's let them study, go back to school, the teachers said, no, we need our summer vacation. Well, you haven't worked all year long.
Yeah.
But anyway, but up until then, I was always for the teachers. But this time, it's I got a little mixed feelings about everything.
Yeah. The price of fuel has gone down again. Hey. Now it is the lowest it has been in a year. That is what our current government is saying, but it is still higher than it was ever before. So it's lowest the last year ever been. But if you compare it
to the history of pricing, it's just our government, Lapid, trying to make spinning things to look good for himself, to make it look like he's doing such a great job. But when you step back and take a look at the big picture, you can see everything. Everything is just out of whack. Everything is out of order. Everything is insane. Well, just like it is everywhere in the world. We know we're all part of this world, and we all see what's going on, and it's going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, but with the fuel, it's simple. Most of the fuel, like 75%, is just taxes, right?
Yeah, and here
it's in the hands of the government to control it and to help people.
Well, one of the largest news events that have been going on now for a while, we've sort of stayed out of it, just like the rest of the country, Israel, is the Donald Trump ordeal, with the classified papers. Israeli news agencies are covering it, but they are very careful about what they say. They're very, they're not getting into all the details of everything. Yeah. Seeing how Trump was the U.S. president that did the most for the state of Israel, it's hard to find an Israeli that doesn't love Trump. So Israel's covering it, but they're trying to. I think
we're gentle with it.
Very gentle. Yeah. It's just something I figured we ought to mention because last couple of weeks we didn't talk about it, and obviously it's a huge thing that's going on. And the only way it's affecting Israel is, like I'm saying, the Israelis are. I think most Israelis are kind of crossing their fingers and hoping that it'll all blow over and he'll become president again. That's what I think they all wish for. But the Israeli news organizations are definitely staying out of it.
Yeah.
Well, on Monday night in Nablus, when 5 Jewish men went to the Jewish holy place to pray, 2 of them were injured from gunfire when Arabs opened fire on them. When the IDF went in to get the terrorists, they opened fire on them as well. They ended up giving up and surrendering. The terrorists ended up surrendering. This is
nothing new here too. No. Every time Jewish people going to pray, it's called Kever Yosef. It's where Joseph was buried. And it's a holy place for many Jewish people. They're going to pray there every time. They schedule it with the army. They go in armed with our army inside, and every time with the army, they still get fire on them.
Yeah.
So this time, of course, the 2 were injured. They burned their car, and the Jewish people had to wait until they got rescued with our soldiers.
Yeah.
And also get fired with that. So just for you to know that it's just people who are going to pray.
Yeah.
That's important to mention. They're not going to provocate or do something, just going to pray in their holy place.
Yeah.
Which we allow every Arab to go and pray in their holy places.
No one shoots at them.
No one should, of course. Well, in this past year, every time the IDF had to go in and arrest the latest terrorists that attacked Israel, let's say Jenin or
wherever,
it ended up in a long gunfight between the IDF and the Arabs in the area.
Yeah.
So,
It's just always getting the uprising, the attitude with the Arabs, where they used to. It's like a roller coaster. It gets worse, worse, worse. Then there's a big mission or something, or a big operation, and it goes back down again. But the morale with the Arabs to fight the IDF is growing, is on the uphill slide again. So I mean, it's every time the IDF goes in, they're always faced with always big gunfights. Yeah.
Well, if you look back to what they do in their schools, you can understand.
Yeah.
They raise in generation after generation with more and more hate towards our Jewish people.
Jewish people in general.
Period. And also soldiers and policemen.
Yeah. Just like we covered a few weeks ago with the school play.
Yeah.
That they had kids were putting on, that they were killing
Yeah.
and cutting heads off of Jewish people in Old City and the police officers and the IDF. And there was a school play that the teachers and the kids were supporting. Well, on social media, Arabs uploaded yet another video on Tuesday where they are raising large amounts of assault rifles and handguns in celebrations of their wedding, just like we was talking about. It's just insane. These are not legal guns, of course, and the weapons are used. These are the same weapons that they're using to kill us, Jewish people, and they're putting it on social media. It's just, it really is insane. Israel has to step up its forces and go in and get all the illegal guns out of the Arabs' places. It's something we have to do.
Yeah. I placed a few days ago, a picture of Israeli flag on the floor that they put in the Arab, somewhere in Arab areas, and kids just riding their bike over it. And one of you wrote me that, well, if somebody will fall off his bike, we'll take him to our hospital to take care of their kids. That's exactly what happened. The same with where they injured themselves, like this 6-year-old girl, or they injured us, or we just taking care of them, and they shooting at us. That's the reality. On Wednesday, after 12 days, Prime Minister Lapid was trying to get President Biden on the phone. Biden finally answered.
Yeah.
It was a 40-minute call in which Lapid was trying to make sure that the U.S. would not put any promises of Israel's right to act freely from their deal.
Yes.
So we just saying that we are not part of this deal.
Yeah, and Israel's really stressing the fact that don't let Iran pressure him into putting into the nuclear deal, that the U.S. will take responsibility or will stop Israel from doing anything that we need to do. Just trying to at least do that, at least keep that out of the deal, right? Because you never know with President Biden what he's liable to put in that deal just to get it signed. So Israel's just trying to hold on to that, at least our right to be able to defend ourselves, basically, is all it is, right?
Yeah.
So that was the 12 days it took Prime Minister Lapid to get Biden on the phone just to get that done, right? Just to say that. Well, shortly after Biden and Lapid's conversation on Wednesday night, Israel made another airstrike in Syria at the airport, where yet another large shipment of weapons from Iran to Hezbollah was in progress. Now, I mean, it's just, Iran is in these talks and deals, and while they're during these talks, they are enriching uranium and trying to get closer and closer to nuclear weapons, while they are shipping these shipments of weapons and everything to all of Israel's enemies. Anyone who wants to fight Israel and try to kill anyone in Israel, they'll arm them and give them anything they want. And all this is going on while President Biden is shaking hands and smiling and trying to make a nuclear deal, like diplomacy is going to do something and going to change something and is going to make a difference or anything. So it's just insane. The whole world's insane, and especially these kinds of situations. Well, that's it for this week. You got anything you want to say?
No, it made me sad what you said. But you're right. It's just I don't know how the world is so blind. But we know why. We know why. But but I don't know what. It's just I'm raising kids here, and I know the threat is going up and up, and I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Well, Good.
I said something. You asked me to say something.
Yeah, I like it when you say something. I think everyone likes it when you say something. Well, don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next week,
Shabbat Shalom.
God bless.